The Ice Age is a world where everything has a price, and this price is not measured in gold, but in calories. Every movement is a spending of heat. Every breath of freezing air demands energy. Ra looks upon his new camp. He has won. He brought captives here so that their hands could build walls and cure hides. But what he sees does not look like triumph. The Southerners are working, but their movements are devoid of life. A human living in constant fear of death exists in a state of invisible flight. His muscles are tense, even when standing still. His heart beats faster, burning precious fat. Fear is a parasite. It drains strength from a slave faster than the cold. Hides tear in clumsy hands, knots on the walls come undone. Ra is a pragmatist. He sees a simple truth. You can force a man to lift a stone under the lash, but you cannot force him to lay the stone so that the wall stands for centuries. In the silence of the night, Ar looks at those sleeping at his feet. Wolves, the most effective killers of the tundra. Once they could have torn out his throat. Now they warm his sides. Why? Not because he beat them, but because with him their bellies are full. In the wild, loyalty is not a moral choice. It is a biological strategy. A well-fed predator does not rebel, Ar thinks. He shifts his gaze to the dark edge of the camp, where the captives huddle together, trembling. They are hungry, they are terrified, and because of this, they are useless. For the tribe to survive, Ar must do something that contradicts the instinct of a warrior. He must cease to be a jailer. In the history of humanity, there are moments louder than battles, though they pass in total silence. That morning, Ar spoke no sound. In a world without words, a gesture is law. He offered food, and he withdrew the spear. In the Southerner's eyes, there was distrust at first, expecting a trick. A blow always follows a handout. That is how the world of violence works. But no blow followed. The tension that had held the camp for weeks began to break. It was not friendship. It was a contract. You give skills, we give protection. And when the fear left, the mastery returned. The Northerners knew how to kill a mammoth, but they did not know how to keep its warmth. The Southerners brought with them a technology that seems primitive to us, but for the Paleolithic, it is the pinnacle of engineering thought, the eyed needle. Before this, clothes were simply tied or pierced with a crude awl. The wind always found a path to the body. The needle allowed for complex overlapping seams. Clothing became a sealed barrier. It was in exchange, the strength of the North for the cunning of the South. That winter, the camp became warmer not because the fires burned brighter, but because two tribes became one. Ar decided not to leave. In a world where winter lasts half the year, an unfrozen river is the greatest treasure. Here, in the lowlands, Sheltered by cliffs from the northern wind, the water remained alive. This meant fish. This meant women did not need to melt snow, wasting precious wood. This place was too valuable to abandon. Ar strengthened the walls. For the first time in generations, the tribe ceased to be eternal wanderers. They put down roots. But settlement comes with a price. Over a few years of peace, the children grew in number. When 50 people live in one place, the land around them empties quickly. It was not a famine that kills instantly. It was the burden of labor. The animals became wary. To bring back prey, hunters had to travel further and further, leaving the camp unprotected for days. Ar needed a solution, and he found it, observing not the people, but those who lived alongside them.
Ar noticed that the camp attracted not only humans, ravens, foxes, Arctic foxes. They were not tamed, but they lived nearby. They came for the refuse, bones and hides that humans threw beyond the perimeter. Ar saw this alliance was profitable for both sides. The ravens got easy food, but in return, they gave the camp their eyes. Their cry warned of a cave lion or bear long before a human could sense the threat. Even wild foxes, eating rodents around the stores, guarded the grain and hides. In Ar's mind, a thought was born. Animals do not fear man if man becomes a source of benefit for them. The ravens give us protection for scraps. The wolves give us the hunt for meat. Could someone give us the meat itself in exchange for protection?
In the mountains above the river lived the Bizarre ibex. Ar ordered the hunters to do what once seemed like madness, to catch but not to kill, to bring them back alive. When the kids were thrown onto the snow in the center of the camp, the tribe waited for the order to butcher them. But Ar did not see dinner. He saw a living reserve. If these animals remain here, if they grow and bear offspring, the tribe will no longer have to wear their feet to blood chasing ghosts in the mountains. Food will grow by itself, right at the doorstep. Ar wants to repeat the success with the ravens and wolves. He wants to offer the ibex a deal. But the ibex is not a raven. It will not fly to you. It has no wings to escape danger and no fangs to defend itself. Its only defense is flight. How do you convince prey to live beside a predator? How do you keep them here in the valley? Path A. Symbiosis. Ar decides to use mind, not force. He notices the animals greedily licking salt stains on the rocks. He decides to become the elder of the herd for them. By day, shepherds lead them to the slopes, but by evening, they lure them back with salt and the protection of the fires. He creates an alliance. This is the path to prosperity. Path B. The cage. Ar decides that trust is a risk. Food should not have a voice. He looks at his strong walls and decides to build the same for the animals. Tight, secure, with no exit. He thinks he is saving them from wolves. He does not know that by locking them in, he locks them in with a sickness more terrible than any predator. This is the path of control leading to plague. We are used to thinking that history is written with spears and fire. But the most terrible catastrophes and the greatest alliances do not begin with war. They begin with the thought, I can control this. Ra stands at the threshold of a revolution. He wants to turn the wild chaos of nature into understandable order. He wants to be a savior for his tribe and a defender for these animals. But nature has its own laws. It does not forgive when living things are treated like stones that can simply be placed and locked away. One step will turn Ra into the first shepherd, the other into the unwitting creator of the first plague. The stones are gathered, the choice is made, and we hear the echo of this choice to this very day. Echoes of evolution.